Hello, Fredericksburg, and welcome to Yesterday Tonight, the Next Morning. It is May 8th, 2025. My name is Jesse Dominguez. Let's get right into the Fredericksburg news. First up, we've got Fredericksburg city government news. They've got some agendas and a news flash. On May 13th at 7:30 p.m., City Council will be meeting. They will be talking about the Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan, approval of the fiscal year 2025 to 2029 for the Block Grant Consolidation Plan, and for the Annual Action Plan. They will show Community Development PDF. Every 5 years, the city develops a consolidated plan for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to meet its federal guidelines under the Community Development Block Grant Program. This document guides on how the city implements its Community Development Block Grant Program over the 5-year period by recommending programs and to what extent each will be funded. Additionally, every year the city develops an annual action plan to implement the consolidated plan. The recommendation is the City Council should approve the attached resolution to approve and authorize staff to forward the 2025-2029 Consolidation Plan and the 2025-2026 Annual Action Plan for the Community Development Block Grant Programs to the Housing and Urban Development Guidelines. The Community Development Block Grant will fund the services outlined in the action plan. These federal funds come directly from the Housing and Urban Development and are exclusive to the City General Fund. HUD has not yet notified staff regarding the City of Fredericksburg's entitlement allocation. In the last fiscal year, the city received $187,157. It was historically lower than previous years. The consolidated plan specifies how Fredericksburg intends to invest federal funds received through the Community Development Block Grant Program. Address 3 broad goals. These commitments include decent housing, a suitable living environment, and expand economic opportunities. Very broad. Decent housing encompasses the retention and provision of affordable housing as well as the prevention of homelessness. A suitable living environment is defined as improving the safety and livability of neighborhoods and increasing their access to the community as a whole. Expanded economic opportunities includes improvements to the economic viability of the locality and the creation and retention of jobs. So they want to make sure that people can afford housing and make sure they don't lose that housing. They want to improve what's already there, the safety and livability of their neighborhoods, and trying to connect everybody together. And they're improving where they want to be able to put new jobs and be able to have people keep those jobs. Those are definitely things that I am 100% for. I believe that people need to be able to have everything that they require to live: groceries, home goods, fresh food, right there in their neighborhoods. If they're not able to get toilet paper or a jug of milk or medicine within 10 minutes, walking, bus, car, whatever it is, that is too far away from those people. And hopefully it should all be in Fredericksburg so that the city can reap the tax benefits and all that good stuff. Evaluation of past performance. The Consolidation Plan of 2025 is the 7th consolidated plan in the 30 years that the city has received an annual entitlement of the Community Development Block Grant funding. During this time, the city has used its funding to complete repairs on at least 250 homes, removed barriers to accessibility on roughly 85 homes, and helped facilitate the purchase of another 67. Finally, the public services portion of the funding has assisted countless LMI households in receiving pedestrian safety, legal housing, and food services throughout the city. And if you want to see them more, it's available on the website. Citizen participation process and consultation process. In February of 1995, they encouraged the participation in developing the CDBG plans and programs. The city has reviewed and amended the plan in 99, 2001, 2004, and 2009 to ensure it remains an effective document. Nobody made any public comments, and nobody said that they didn't think this was a good idea. In summary, the consolidation plan provides the basis for developing the related annual action plans through which the community development programs are implemented. Benchmarks have been established to show the overall impact over the next 5 years, and this is a cumulative information to allow citizens and city officials to track the city's progress in implementing its community development goals. And then it has a lead in responsible agencies. So Fredericksburg in the Community Planning and Development Department is the one putting this together. It says who's a part of it: Bailey Thompson, the planner, the department. So my question is, they make this document, and especially with the broad goals that they have, how can we track exactly what is happening, what needs to happen, when does it happen, how quickly this is? We need some trackable data. When you say that, these broad topics of, when they say decent housing is the preservation, when they say decent housing is the retention and provision of affordable housing, as well as the prevention of homelessness, what does that look like exactly? How is this being tracked? I guess it's through the community development program. You would have to follow along with their meetings to see what that actually looks like. And that involves going on the website and tracking it through that, which is more trouble than you think it is for the average person. How can we make sure with something as big and as important as this, people need to know as soon as possible, as frequently as possible, be able to put their own opinions into where they live. Yes, nobody said anything, nobody opposed what you're doing. Yeah, we like your broad ideas that you have, but we don't just want you to come in and make a bunch of changes. Each area needs specific things told to them, whether that's people leaving notes on their door, in the mail. Hey, we're a part of the development. Hey, we're a part of the community development block grant program. This is what we do. These are our goals, and this is what's exactly happening to your street, to your block. Make it as clear as possible. If you have any thoughts, ideas, opinions, anything, email in. Or turn in a letter back if it's somebody older and they want to use mail, or you just like mail, whatever it is. For something as big as this, we need to be on top of it. Okay, that's enough of that. They're then talking about changing the Precinct 401 polling place from New City Fellowship Church to the school's administration building. So they want to change a polling area from one area to another area. This is the Small Area 8 South Dixon Mayfield report by Roadside and Harvell Inc. The purpose of this item is the transmittal of Roadside and Harvell's Area 8 Small Area Report for Planning Area 8 South Dixon to the City Council. Also included is the existing conditions report developed by Roadside and Harvell for Area 8. I do not know. Okay, this is them. It's a collaborative team of urban dwellers, bikers, walkers, foodies, and gardeners that make a place that connect people to each other and their environment, with an acclaimed portfolio focusing on building timeless spaces and livable communities. What they do is they advise on how a city, an area, a development should restructure themselves or just structure themselves for community living, which is awesome. Good for them. Okay, they began work on this report in July of 2024. They had a session with multiple city departments, transportation, public works, economic development, parks and rec, and others. The Fredericksburg Area Metropolitan Planning Organization as well. The process incorporated 3 community meetings to gain insight and comments of the residents throughout on September 4th, November 9th, and February 5th. I went to 2 of those meetings, and they were very informative. So this is going to be that entire planning. So like I said before, Area 8, which is this area here, has been carefully examined to see what it talks about the overview here, where it's located, and how that Area 8 will shape a future in the city's role. So they want to preserve existing neighborhood character, promote community serving land uses, protect and expand natural resource areas, active public spaces, improve mobility, and enhance. So this is a picture of public meeting number 1. So they went to the community center in the main area of Mayfield here in Area 8. And this was the timeline that happened. They had a meeting, they had another meeting, and then they met with the city, and it continues on from there. So these are what people said about preserving existing neighborhood character. Mayfield is culturally significant, so the character should be preserved. Future housing and infill development should be compatible with the existing neighborhood and focus on maintaining affordability. Explore tools such as neighborhood conservation districts that will allow additional regulatory and additional regulation for retaining the predominantly house scale character of the Mayfield area, height, scale, and overall layout of parcels. They want the neighborhood to look the same. They don't want these crazy looking houses that look different than everybody else. They don't want townhomes that don't have their own yard. They want everybody to have single family housing the way it's been looking the whole time. To promote community serving land uses, there is support for commercial and mixed use redevelopment in select areas. It can provide value amendments like small-scale restaurants and shopping along Dixon Street. Not in Mayfield, but on Dixon Street, which is not only being expanded so that more cars can go, and when you make bigger roads, more cars come, people go faster, and they want people to be shopping. They want people to cross this very, very large road to go shopping. It's better than having to drive outside of the city or all the way to Central Park, but Dixon Street is not the best area that they could have done. They need to have that inside their neighborhood so there is no worry about people getting hit by traffic. Those cars are going to continue to go fast, especially with expanding the roads out. A lot of trucks come through there. You don't need children, families, mothers, fathers, dogs walking around Dixon Street. But opportunities for affordable housing, especially on industrially zoned land. Land decisions should prioritize community needs and minimize disturbances from industrial activity, including tractor-trailer parking and idling train traffic. They want to make sure they have some stores in there. They need to keep affordable housing after they push out the industry zoned land that is right next to a lot of homes there. Tractor trailers park along Dixon Street, and idling trains on the train track that's right there as well just cause more pollution, and just build things nearby that are going to help the community instead of hurt them. Protect and expand natural resource areas. They want to put in more green space, especially in the industrial areas, to enhance the community's environment and livability. Trails through valuable natural resource areas, such as wetlands, provide a value community asset. They want more green spaces. Get rid of the industrial, add a large green park there. It would be absolutely beautiful. Active public spaces. Public spaces should feature historical exhibits, local art, and expand community programming. Maintaining any newly created murals and public art is essential for their longevity. Enhancing the fairgrounds at Dixon Park's roller hockey facilities would create recreational and community assets. Upgrading basketball facilities and a permanent restroom at the park. Energy efficient lighting all throughout Area 8 to promote safety and security at night, especially along Dixon. 100% put in more art, put in more parks, and upgrade facilities. They need a bathroom there at that park instead of porta-johns. I mean, nobody wants to use a porta-john, especially when you're outside, you're running, you're hot. You want to go into a nice, cool bathroom, and you want some comfortability. They certainly deserve it. And of course, lights at night are useful anywhere, in any neighborhood, and should be in every neighborhood. And then finally, improve mobility and enhance connections. Sidewalk maintenance is going to happen. Traffic calming along Airport Avenue and Dixon Street, particularly during rush hour and fairground events. People do speed through those streets, especially when there's events going on, and it is 100% unsafe. The planners still think that expanding out Dixon Street is a good idea, but if they have the right infrastructure around it, people will go slow. Their hope is that expanding Dixon Street out will make less people go on Airport Avenue, which is going straight through Mayfield to the fairground. They need better infrastructure. They need better signals at intersections coming in and out of Mayfield, and they need to maintain that residents have access to parking even during events. They will have additional handicap parking spaces near the Mayfield Civic Association building. Awesome. Trail connectivity, including the Rappahannock River, which would provide community amendments and opportunities for interpretive signage. The Rappahannock River is across the street, across Dixon Street, and past a little bit of land, but then the river is right there. Having an easy way to go to the river would be totally awesome for them. Hopefully that part of the river is safe. I'm not 100% sure. And that is all I'm going to read for this Area 8 plan. Please, I implore you, read it yourself. Please read it yourself. It's interesting just to see what the city is thinking, even if you don't live in Area 8, because every area is getting a plan like this. And it all goes into the future of your life and where you're living. So please, take a look yourself as well. They've got the Pathways Committee to talk about. The city is pretty much seeing where they can add more paths, seeing how can they have people walk or bike to work. They talk about bike to work and school day. So the Pathways Committee is doing exactly what they're saying, talking about pathways in the Planning Commission. They had a public input and regular meeting minutes to go through. My biggest highlight I see in this document is that from the planning director, Mike Craig, City Council has approved the Jeremiah Community Project, which is our local homeless organization that wants to build homes for the homeless population and get them off of the streets. They are building the Jeremiah Project along Fall Hill Avenue in an already not very well funded part of the city. Hopefully no trouble arises. They approved the removal of the railway station overlay district. They began discussions on the proposed technology overlay district, which will also be on the Planning Commission agenda for the February 12th meeting. Upcoming special use permit for a school located in the lower level of the Staples Shopping Center. Area 5 public hearing at the February 12th meeting. Setting up meeting dates for comprehensive plan update committee meetings. Then they will have the public hearing for anybody who wants to talk about what they discuss in the Planning Commission section. The last thing we'll look at real quickly is the Area 5 plan. So Area 5 is this green section right here in the middle of Fredericksburg. If you live in this area, please review over this document. It is massive. It is absolutely massive. There's 62 pages worth of documents for you to look at. Far too much for me to even begin to explain. I did not go to this meeting, and it is not as easily put up there like the Area 8 plan was. But if you live in Area 5, I implore you, look at this document, go to the meeting, and any other meetings that they will have for Area 5. Input. It might be perfect, and tell them that if it is perfect. Everything else on the City Council agenda is pretty run-of-the-mill. Go for the public hearings in your areas. The Area 8, the Area 5. That is going to be the most impact on your life here in Fredericksburg. If you go for anything, please go for those area meetings. There's 3 things that the Architectural Review Board will be talking about. It's the single family dwelling. Emily Denifer requests to make altercate, and 2 business owners want to change what their storefront looks. Now for some just base Fredericksburg news. Now some interesting news that you may or may not have heard of. Vandalism damages several headstones at the city cemetery. At least 15 headstones were damaged. You can see the picture there. It's sad, honestly, especially when these headstones get as neglected as they do already. That was on the Free Press. If you want to read more into it, check it out. Also from the Free Press, concerned leaders sound the alarm on youth violence during community forum. After last month's shooting in the Old Greenwich community, where 3 teenagers died at the hands of other teens during a gun sale turned robbery, somebody said, "God told me to sound the alarm." The call to action that became the theme of Monday night's community forum at the Fredericksburg office. They were talking about Failsafe ERA, a nonprofit organization launched in 2009 that aims to prevent generational incarceration by engaging families, youth, community leaders, law enforcement, and faith institutions to create pathways to hope, healing, and opportunity. Old Greenwich community is hoping that Failsafe is able to come in and just give people some hope. They don't want people acting like this, and there are plenty of different organizations out there to help with that. Now for some general Fredericksburg area news. From the Free Press. Stafford to hold public meeting on Route 1 and Courthouse Road intersection improvement project. Route 1 will be improved to a 4-lane divided highway with a concrete median. We've spoken about this before. There are tons of videos on this. Do not expand out highways, lanes, 4 lanes, highway. No. No, that's not making anything safer. That is not an improvement. People are going to go even faster than they already are on Route 1 and Courthouse Road. Dedicated left turn lanes will be provided from Route 1 onto Courthouse, Bells Road, and Hope Road. Eastbound Courthouse Road will be widened, a mistake, to provide a dedicated left turn, right turn, and through lane. Westbound Courthouse Road will be restriped to provide a dedicated left turn, right turn, and through lane. An 8-foot sidewalk will be installed along areas of Route 1, and pedestrian crosswalks will be built. You can build all the crosswalks and all the pedestrian safety 8-foot sidewalks out there, but it's not going to be safe if people are driving on a massive road like this. And with everything so spread far apart, who is going to be walking on a massive sidewalk? Hopefully there's trees to give them cover, but there's not going to be a lot of trees in the beginning. They're going to be big enough to protect people from the shade. So they will be cooking on this sidewalk, walking next to cars going 45 miles an hour at the minimum, because there's nothing there to slow them down. It's a brand new widened road. And we will see more cars show up because it will be faster to drive, quote unquote, faster to drive on Route 1 and Courthouse Road intersection than it is to somehow end up on this massive concrete cooktop, and congestion will continue to get worse. According to Stafford officials, there will be several benefits of the project, including dedicated turn lane functions with new traffic lights, a median to provide channelization of traffic, reducing traffic accidents, The sidewalk and crosswalks will provide safer pedestrian accessibility to the general area. They will begin construction on the $30 million project later this month. It's part of the county's $70 million investment in transportation improvements across the community, which will enhance roadway safety, improve accessibility, and reduce congestion. But it won't. It will not. Time and time again, we've seen in other cities in America, in Canada, that this does not work. If you're going to invest $30 million and honestly $70 million in transportation improvements, you need dedicated bus lanes to let public transportation take people to the places they need to go quicker. Not invest all this money in something that's going to be needing more money spent on it again later. I mean, honestly, this is absolutely ridiculous and a shame. I'm speechless. Truly, I'm speechless. All this information out there, and they're still deciding to do the American thing and just build bigger roads. What a shame. That was yesterday, and they had a meeting from 5 to 7 p.m. Mary Washington Hospital was not graded for spring 2025 by Leapfrog, a nonprofit organization that evaluates hospital safety and quality. Stafford Hospital, which, like Mary Washington Hospital, is operated by Mary Washington Healthcare, maintained the A safety grade it received in fall 2004. Spotsylvania Regional Medical Center received a C, which is also the same score it received in the fall. Mary Washington Hospital received a C in fall 2024 and a D in spring 2024. According to Leapfrog, Mary Washington was not eligible to receive a spring 2025 hospital safety grade because it was missing data for patient safety indicator 90. PSI 90 is a composite of 10 other safety indicators, including rates of prostopreptive sepsis. PSI 90 is a composite of 10 other safety indicators, including a ton of different medical issues. It is calculated using Medicare for free system service claims. The hospital had the option to request that data be used despite the footnote, but they did not. According to Sarah Farinelli, a spokeswoman for Leapfrog, the organization's policy to notify hospitals when this footnote is present is in their data. The data available for Mary Washington Hospital at the CMS website included a footnote indicating that the hospital had reported discrepancies in. According to Sarah Farinelli, a spokeswoman for Leapfrog, the organization's policy is to notify hospitals when the footnote is present in their data. They had the option to request the data and it be used despite the footnote, but they did not. They claim it was a coding error in their electronic medical system records that they are trying to resolve. But they say that their quality and safety indicators are being noticed nationally beyond Leapfrog. The American Hospital Association ran an article in March about our recent quality and safety improvements, calling our performance incredible, and the national healthcare company ViewFile shared that their most recent performance in patient safety at Mary Washington shared that the national healthcare company ViewFile shared that the most recent performance in patient safety at both Mary Washington and Stafford hospitals is at the top 10% nationally. In fact, it's Mary Washington Hospital's recent performance is the best in the Commonwealth of Virginia. According to the blurb, the healthcare system significantly improved its performance in preventing infections, mortality, and readmissions. The article did not include any data pointing to the improvement. So according to the advance, Mary Washington Hospital was missing data, so they did not get assessed by this company Leapfrog. But despite this, they're saying that their last evaluation done by the American healthcare system said that they were in the top percentile of all Virginia hospitals. They haven't let me down. That's all I know. They haven't let me down. I'm sure they've let other people down, but I know they haven't let me down. And finally, after a lot of reading and a lot of talking, That's it. We're done. I've freed you from this awful, boring political existence for now. Have a good day. I'm going to bed. Good night.